Until next time, this is Life Affairs. Choose your peace. Hello everyone and welcome to Life Affairs. Before we begin, I want to say something to those of you who have been following this podcast. I know these last few episodes have been heavier than what many of you expected. They were serious because they needed to be. Some conversations cannot wait. Some truths are too important to leave unsaid, and I felt an urgency to bring them to you while they were still relevant. These episodes were never about dwelling on pain or creating division. They were about giving a voice to issues that often remain hidden behind silence. After today's episode, we'll return to the original structure of Life Affairs, the lighter, reflective, and inspiring conversation that many of you have come to enjoy. Life is about balance. We need conversations that challenge us, but we also need conversations that bring hope, perspective, and joy. With that said, let's begin. Today, I want to talk about something that doesn't receive enough attention: accountability. We often hear people say, move on, or forgive and forget. But before asking someone to move on, perhaps we should ask a different question. Who is taking responsibility for the damage that was done? Let's stop pretending that every tragedy is simply bad luck. Sometimes lives are changed because of people's choices, their prejudice, their racism, their gossip, their abuse of authority, their refusal to accept responsibility. Words have consequences. False accusations have consequences. Spiritual manipulation has consequences. Betraying trust has consequences. Whether it happens in a church, a workplace, a family, a community group, or any other organization, the result can be the same. People are left carrying wounds they never deserved. Too often, those responsible continue with their lives as though nothing happened, while the people they hurt are left trying to rebuild theirs. Some recover in silence, some spend years rebuilding their confidence. Some find healing through faith, some through family, friends, or professional support, and some never recover. I know this because I lived through my own difficult experiences. For me, faith became my lifeline. My relationship with God carried me through betrayal, disappointment, and moments when I questioned people, but never my faith. I was fortunate. But I also know that many others were not. Some people experience betrayal, rejection, discrimination, or manipulation and lose hope entirely. Some lose their identity. Some lose their purpose. Some lose relationships. And tragically, some lose their lives. That is why accountability matters. Not because any of us are perfect, but because every decision we make affects another human being. If you spread gossip, ask yourself what that rumor will cost someone. If you discriminate because of race, culture, background, or appearance, ask yourself what opportunities you may have taken away. If you hold a position of authority, whether in a religious organization, workplace, or community, remember that leadership is not permission to control, shame, manipulate, or silence people. True leadership protects. True faith heals. True character accepts responsibility. Before I close, I want to leave every listener with a few questions, not to judge you, but to invite honest reflection. How many of you have ever gone back and checked whether the person you hurt was actually okay? How many people had to recover in isolation because you never accepted responsibility for your own actions? How many found healing through faith, through the love of family and friends, or through the support of others? And how many never made it to the other side because the burden placed upon them became too heavy to carry? If those questions make you uncomfortable, don't ignore them. Reflection is where accountability begins, because accountability isn't simply admitting you are wrong, it's caring enough to repair the damage while you still can. There is one final thought I want to leave with you. If people never take accountability, if they continue to minimize your pain, dismiss your experiences, or refuse to acknowledge the harm they have caused, then remove yourself from that environment. Leave, and leave sooner than I did. Do not be as naive as I was, believing that if you stay longer, endured more, tolerated more, or gave people one more chance, something will eventually change. Sometimes it doesn't. What changes is you. Your confidence begins to fade, your peace disappears, your recovery becomes longer because you stayed where your dignity was repeatedly compromised. When people show you who they are, not once, but repeatedly, believe the pattern, not the promise. You will hear phrases like, "You're too sensitive," "You're too dramatic," "You're asking for too much." But perhaps you're not too much. Perhaps they are simply unwilling to offer the respect, honesty, empathy, or accountability that every human being deserves. Sometimes too much simply means you refuse to accept too little. No one should have to shrink themselves just to make others comfortable. No one should have to silence their values to belong. If belonging requires you to accept injustice, prejudice, gossip, manipulation, or the mistreatment of others, then that isn't belonging. It's conformity at the expense of your integrity. Sometimes it is better to stand alone than to stand in a crowd that expect you to become part of the harm. Because silence has consequences. Looking the other way has consequences. Failing to stand up for what is right has consequences. If we remain silent while others are being mistreated, we become part of the environment that allows the mistreatment to continue. We may have not caused the harm, but by refusing to challenge it, we help create the conditions where it survives. Choose your peace. Choose your dignity. Choose people who uplift you, challenge you, to grow and celebrate your humanity. Not people who require you to diminish yourself to earn acceptance. And remember this, not every door is meant to stay open. Some doors are meant to be closed so that healing can begin. Walking away is not always giving up. Sometimes walking away is the most courageous act of self-respect you'll ever make. Sometimes you won't connect or align with everyone. And that's okay. Not every person is your person. Not every place is your place. If you have to sacrifice your values or your peace to belong, it's time to leave. It will be hard, but you will be okay. Sometimes walking away is the first step towards healing. And on your journey, I hope you discover things you never thought possible. If you ever walk away from a place you had outgrown, I love to hear from you. What did you discover about yourself once you left? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Thank you for joining me on this important conversation. Next time, on Life Affairs, we'll return to the lighter, reflective episodes that were part of the original vision for this podcast. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and remember this. Every word you speak, every decision you make, and every life you touch leaves a legacy. Make yours one of compassion, integrity, accountability, and hope. Until next time, this is Life Affairs.